Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Family Jewels. I'm Colton Bartel.
And I'm Audie Bartel.
And this week we have a special episode. You probably could have seen that in the title. So,
is it because we got new pictures on the wall?
Oh, no. But we do. we're adding background here, so. Yeah.
Right.
But
we'll have to put some on this other side, balance it out.
Yeah. That could be kind of a funny thing, just like every week the pictures back here change, rotate, have something different.
It'd be one of those things whether we would notice it or they would notice it.
It would just be a subtle thing that they would notice.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so this week's special episode is we are announcing, I guess, on our Family Jewels
episode.
Yeah. Our new venture, which is Bartel Watch Company. And it's actually luxury watches that we are making here in store. And now if you go to our Susann's website, you can actually see the little new tab that's at the top of our page that basically has a website within a site of Bartel Watch Company. So we're pretty excited about this. It's been a little while in the making of getting it to this point, but we are starting into the production part of the watches, and they're going to be really cool. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is kind of go through some of the features of the watches that we're doing and what you can kind of expect from them, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, this is really cool. A lot of this is, Colton's wanted to do this for quite a while or whatever, and we finally come up with an idea, I guess.
Yep.
And some of this has evolved while we've been doing this, and so it's...
and not all of it was voluntarily evolving.
No, but
it was a little trial and error with some stuff too.
Part of it was solving problems not just in the manufacture of the watch, but
issues that we see other watch brands have that
right.
we just for some reason haven't figured out why they haven't fixed it.
Well, that or
why it's still a
addressed
problem.
it. Yeah,
why it's still a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of those features most people wouldn't think about. It's just something that we've experienced being in the jewelry business this long.
And a lot of them haven't experienced it because they haven't owned a watch like this until they do it. And then why is it this way?
Yeah, what's going on here? Yeah. And so basically we've done some preventative measures to reduce or eliminate some of those problems that we'll talk about. Because now what was other people's problems are now a feature.
Right.
On ours.
Well, that didn't sound right either.
Well, no.
We've
solved the problem, and so now it's a feature.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not that we're like bragging that we got the same problems.
That's almost what it sounded like.
It did after I said it. Yeah, it kind of sounded that way. Yeah. So anyway, I guess we could show you the watch that we're actually talking about. So this is our first style. This is called the Paladin. And obviously this is going to be reverse of what the watch looks like, since the camera's reversed.
Still going to be black and silver.
Well, yeah. I'm not talking about the color. I'm talking about... Never mind. But this is the Paladin. It's got the Bartel Watch Company on the side here. It's going to have our logo up here at the top, and then the individual serial numbers that are at the bottom. And so actually everything you're seeing here, with the exception of the hands, is actually all precious metal. And this is something that a lot of manufacturers won't do. You can see the case back actually matches the pattern on the dial. This is a little bit easier to see on the website or on the Bartel Watch Company Facebook page or our Instagram. So we are
We're all over.
We're up and running with the watch company here. So yeah, basically what we wanted to do is, or where this style and everything has come from, is just felt like the watch industry in general has gotten very streamlined and kind of playing with a lot of the cases and stuff. Some of the dials may have some cool features to them, or maybe a cool texture or color or something like that. But as far as the cases go, everything kind of got just
stayed.
Yeah. Everything was just highly polished. There wasn't any textures to it. You know, this is probably the most plain one that we'll do. The next one that we're coming out with is called the Crusader, and you can actually check out some of the pictures online of it. It's got a lot more texture to the case. Some of the photos, it doesn't necessarily look like it because you're looking just straight on, but actually when the watch is turned to the side, you can see all the detail and everything, and it's really cool. But to kind of point out some of the features, so this is going to be is a high-end luxury watch. So they are a little bit more expensive than your average.
A little more expensive
watch.
Than our Citizens.
Yeah, they're going to be more expensive than the Citizen line that we carry, but we're not doing any steel versions. All of them are precious metal. So like this one, this is actually done in a metal called Continuum Silver. And so what this is actually a sterling silver alloyed with a platinum metal in order to basically hold a better polish. It resists tarnishing, and it actually has a lot better hardness to it, similar to what white gold is. Maybe not
white.
Yeah, maybe not quite as hard, but pretty close. And so with normal sterling silver, you're going to have tarnish problems. Sometimes the surface of the metal gets almost like a little bit powdery looking.
Yeah, almost like a
kind of dusty,
like it's a film on it
yeah.
or something.
And then it's substantially softer, so it doesn't hold a polish overly well. You can't set stones in it. You definitely can't make.
Well, you can set stones in it, but you can't prong set.
Right. The other thing would be is like, with this bezel that's on here, it would be very difficult putting this crystal in there, which, by the way, the crystal on this watch is synthetic sapphire, so very hard. You're going to resist a lot of scratching and stuff with that sapphire crystal in there, which is really nice. But even the dial on this watch is actually made out of the same metal, and that's how this will be. It's going to be real consistent throughout the line, that regardless of what metal we're using, the dial and the crown will actually match whatever the case is made out of. So whether we're doing the Continuum Silver, or we're also offering these in 14 karat and 18 karat in white, yellow, and rose gold.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one of those features that we were talking about earlier, where it was an issue before, is that we're making the dial out of a precious metal, but we're making it as one piece.
Right. What Colton's kind of insinuating is that the markers for the hours or whatever are not applied. So that is actually a part of the dial.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about, say, the 12 o'clock coming off and getting lodged in the hands, and, there's a possibility that, that may have to be sent in to take that out. Then what ends up happening is that person or a company is going to charge you for an overhaul.
Yeah.
So we've eliminated that.
Yeah. Yeah, because, traditional way of putting these markers on the dial, and by markers we're talking about the little indicators on the dial of the hours. Traditionally they are, like you said, either applied where they're just pressed on with maybe like little feet that press into little holes on the dial.
Some are glued on.
Some are glued on, and then there are others that are painted on. The issue with it is with those that are applied and sometimes glued on, like you said, they can fall off, get stuck in the hands. In rare cases, but real extreme, they will actually fall into the date window that's over here and actually get lodged in the movement itself, which causes a lot of problems. Good morning, Julie. Well, thank you. And then you've got ones that are painted on that maybe over time will discolor or chip. And then you have an issue there because you have to pay to get a dial refinish, which can be really expensive. Ours, this is actually an all one-piece deal. So we are actually casting the dials in, like we said, the metal that the case is made out of. So in this case, this dial is actually continuum silver.
Now the thing's going to come to their mind and go, well, it don't look like the same metal.
Yeah. So the black that you're seeing on here, so this is a black dial, and the numbers are actually in relief, or the markers are in relief, so they're basically stand up off the dial, but they're still a part of it. We're actually plating this dial in black rhodium. For those of you that don't know, rhodium is actually a precious metal in the platinum group. Very, very rare, very, very expensive, but can be manipulated to turn different colors. So in this case, we've got black rhodium on here, and then after we plate it, we're actually going back and repolishing just the tops of the markers so that they are in contrast to the background. So the other thing you might notice on here that is kind of a feature, and this is kind of our signature here, is we have a blue sweep second. Maybe a little bit difficult to see here because I'm kind of getting weird reflections on here, but the second hand on here and on all of our watches is going to be blue. Another feature that is usually an issue with other manufacturers is the crown. You want to talk about the crown?
Yeah, and maybe not as much in, say, their stainless steel models, but you get into their precious metals like they do gold or platinum. A lot of times that crown is made out of the same metal as what the case is. Mm-hmm. So let's say you have an 18 karat watch. So, some, not all of them, but a lot of watches are going to have screw down crowns. And so what happens is you've got gold threads on both the tube and the crown, because the crown's got to have something to screw to.
Because this is a screw down crown.
Right.
It's not just a push down. This actually screws down to become watertight.
So what ends up happening over time, and sometimes doesn't take a lot of time, is because gold is soft, or the precious metals are soft, is those threads get either pulled or worn, and then what happens is you got a crown that doesn't work. Yeah. And so what we did here is we actually have a stainless steel tube and stainless steel crown, but in our
ingenuity,
one of those things where we're trying to solve a problem or whatever is we actually designed and made a cap to go on the crown that's made out of the same metal as what the case is. So in this case, we have a sterling silver continuum crown over a stainless steel crown. Yeah. So everything you see, because you can't see that stainless steel crown because
we've actually welded it in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got the durability, I guess, of stainless steel threads and crown. So that's, again, kind of eliminated a problem of the watches that are made out of precious metals.
Yeah. And then to kind of piggyback on that, too, is with the case back. And good morning, Cindy. Well, thank you. And good morning, Mike. The other thing is, too, is on the case back, we're actually using steel screws on the case back as well because, again, the same issue. Using precious metal screws tends to pull threads or they wear out over time because at some point, with this watch, and we'll get into that a little bit later, it's going to need serviced. And so anytime this is opened up, you're turning those threads. If you have this in precious metal, then you're probably going to wear those threads out over time. Then they're not cheap screws to replace for one, but two, you're going to have the same issue reoccurring. So using the steel threads is much better, and so we're going to continue to do that on all of those models. So one of the features we haven't talked about on the exterior here before we get into some of the mechanical part is all these are going to feature a butterfly deployable buckle on here too. So currently all of our watches are going to be leather strap up until we can get some metal bracelets designed. We've got some design work and some engineering we'll have to do there. But currently all of them are going to be leather strap, but they will have this deployable buckle on there, which is kind of nice because you just set it to the size that you need.
And then it goes together like a metal bracelet would.
Yep. Yeah. Latches together, and then it's got two little buttons here, and it deploys open, which is pretty handy. So it's really easy to wear. These are pretty heavy watches. That's probably one of the first thing that most people notice when they pick up this watch.
Two things.
They notice the weight, and they notice the blue hand.
The blue second hand.
The weight, it's one of those deals. Everybody that's picked this up, they're like, wow, we really like the weight. Yeah. You can feel it. This particular watch, we're right at about, 4 ounces? Somewhere around 4 ounces of
3.8, I think.
And then the gold watches are going to be around 5 ounces. So
14 karat ones.
Yeah,
well, 18 karat ones.
So it's one of those that we didn't want to skimp on anything. So everything that we found, we basically used the highest quality materials to make these. We are making these in store. So this is a Texas-made watch, which that was something that we didn't mention right off the bat. But yes, this is a Texas-made, Corpus Christi made watch. We're casting all the parts and stuff here in-house and hand finishing everything here in-house. Now the only thing, there's a few elements that aren't made here that we can't manufacture. One being the hands and the crystal.
It's not that we can't.
Well, the hands and the crystal we can't. Because, you'd have to grow sapphire crystals, which we don't have the equipment to do that.
No.
But one of the things, and this is actually one of the features that we're actually pretty proud of, is the movement that's in this watch. So we're actually using a Swiss-built and engineered movement that's in here. It's an automatic movement, 30 joule automatic movement, actually, with date. What's really nice is we're actually being able to basically have these movements custom made for us. They have different setups for it. It's kind of a modular movement. We kind of get to pick the features of it, and then we can actually customize the colors of the movement and all that.
What is there, 77?
There's 88 different combinations of this movement.
One multiple up, right?
Yeah. Which is really nice. So we'll be able to add complications later on down the road as we develop the line. We may be looking at adding like a day date, maybe a small second. Eventually, it'd be really cool. We can do a chronograph. Would be really awesome. But I know that there's some that offer moon phase.
Probably some minute repeaters.
Yeah, there's some minute repeaters, stuff like that, which is definitely something we're going to look into at a later date. But we're just getting started here and just really excited about this.
The other thing is that Colton didn't bring up, this has a 65-hour power reserve. Mm-hmm. But one of the little things that, we used to be Rolex dealers, and a problem that a customer would have is they'd say they'd wear the watch on the weekend and then not maybe the rest of the week. So there'd be 3 days you'd wear it, and an automatic watch, basically wrist movement keeps the watch wound.
Yep.
So when they take it off and set it down for 3 or 4 days, then they come back, the watch is stopped, so they have to set the time.
Yeah, and unscrew the crown, wind it a little bit, or shake it and get it going.
And you wouldn't think that would be a big deal, but it's one of those things where the quartz watches have kind of got people spoiled a little bit, and
Yeah.
so this watch actually comes packaged in its own watch winder. So these are computer controlled watch
basically
winders.
a computer controlled watch winder. So you actually just throw it on there. This has got a little insert deal that
Well, you need to
pops
turn
out.
it off for you.
Yeah.
You probably have to turn it around
Yeah.
because it's fairly stout.
Yeah. So it just sets on this little guy that actually scrunches up a little bit to fit the band on the watch, and then this actually just pops in like that. Pop the switch on, and it takes just a few seconds. Basically, it's recalculating
Because
turns
it'll
and which
do,
direction it's going.
well, yeah, it winds the watch both directions. Basically, it puts 900 turns on in a 24-hour period. So
Yeah.
a lot of people go, well, if it's going to run all the time, is it going to overwind my watch? And it actually won't.
Nope.
So just kind of a cool deal. So when you take this off, you just put it on the watch winder. This runs either with batteries or basically an AC adapter.
Yep.
And you just take it off, put it on the watch winder, and when you're ready to wear it again, just turn the watch winder off and put it on. You should be ready to go.
Yeah. So nice, good sized box. Not too cumbersome or anything like that. So
Really-
it'll be really good for travel.
Really quiet motor.
Yeah, you actually can't hear it
Yeah.
at all. But this is actually what every watch is going to come packaged in. So whereas everybody else has just a box, ours is a functional box.
Yeah.
So just to kind of give you an idea, just the watch winder alone is about what, a
$250.
$250 value just for the watch winder itself. So even right down to the packaging, we didn't want to cut any corners here. So we got a square box, not a round one. It was a bad joke.
Cutting corners.
Yeah.
You just created some corners.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah.
This is actually our Monday, so you should kind of maybe
Preface that.
Yeah.
So one of the other features of the watch that is probably going to be more of a standout for like collectors, because this is going to basically be like a boutique watch, because there's not going to be a massive amount of these watches out there.
Well, if we could get you to pump them out, maybe it could be.
No. Like this year, we're hoping to do 100 watches. That's going to be a pretty big task to get finished. But with these, like we pointed out earlier, they've got a serial number on there that's specific to each individual watch that will actually indicate the year that it was made and which number in sequence of watch it was during production. So you'll actually, be able to just pick these up, look at them real fast. You won't have to search for the serial number or anything. We're not ashamed of the number. A lot of the Swiss brands and stuff like that have, in recent years, scrambled their serial numbers so you couldn't track them. We're actually wanting you to track them.
Well, and a little
So-
bit of that is, something that we haven't talked about yet, is one of the other things that people experience in a luxury watch, an automatic luxury watch, is somewhere along the line the watch is going to have to be serviced. So normally that service period is every 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
So we basically have a limited lifetime warranty, which I don't know if maybe we need to come up with something different than that limited, but because it's limited the other way.
Yeah, it's more limited on making sure that you bring it in rather than other issues.
Right. So what that means is every 5 years after you've bought this watch, we want to see it back here at the store, and we're actually going to service that watch. We'll do a full overhaul.
Mm-hmm.
But the surprising part is there won't be a charge.
Yeah. So,
but if you don't bring it in every 5 years, you're going to void the warranty.
Yeah.
If you allow us to maintain that watch, it'll last for generations. So
yeah. And that's, and that's where we're going with a lot of this is we basically, part of the idea behind this was not only did we want to make a nice watch, something that was made well, had a nice movement and stuff like that in it, but we wanted to design a watch that was basically something that could be passed down generation to generation. We wanted to create basically a legacy watch. And in doing so, that's where we've kind of gotten, a lot of these design elements and stuff are inspired by past designs, a lot of maybe architectural stuff that is implemented into this watch. And so in doing that, we like I said, we wanted to build a watch that was maybe like a legacy watch or something that's going to get passed down. So we wanted to make sure that we had a way of ensuring that watch was going to last that long, and that's where we've come up with this, basically this warranty where we're going to service it so that we can make sure that it's in pristine condition at all times. And with other watch manufacturers out there that are maybe this caliber and higher, you can spend $1,000 on a service, and still do that every 3 to 5 years.
Right.
We're actually going to waive that fee as long as we're seeing it every 5 years. So that's where that limited part comes in. Is on your end, the one that owns the watch, you're into that lifetime warranty responsibility is making sure that we see it at least every those 5 years.
A lot of people will say, well, why does it have to be serviced every 5 years? What you need to do is that movement in there, you need to think of it as almost like a little motor.
Yeah.
And so where this thing is going to run continuously around the clock, 24 hours a day for 5 years, there's actually several moving parts in here. There's lubrication at friction points, I guess you'd call them.
Yep.
And that's kind of like you need to have the oil changed in your car.
Yeah.
Here I guess we'll just say we've got really good oil in there or whatever, but but we still need to see that watch every 5 years to have it serviced.
Yeah. So we'll actually pull the movement out, completely disassemble it, clean all the parts, readjust everything, reassemble and oil, and basically put it back to original factory standards. We'll actually, to an extent, we'll refinish the exterior of the watch as well, making sure that we've got as nice a polish on it as we can. It's going to be one of those deals that it's going to be based on the wearer, how much damage the outside receives over time, but we'll try and repair and refinish as best as possible. But the main thing is maintaining that movement, because you can go wash your car and wax it all you want, but if you don't have an engine in there that's working right, then it's just going to sit in your driveway. So
you can have like a statue.
Pretty much. So we want these to be, we want you guys to enjoy these and really maintain them. And we're more than happy to do that maintenance for you guys, but we do need to see these every 5 years. So the one thing we really haven't talked about is how they can get one. And actually right now we are doing pre-sales on these. We're getting ready to do the first run of production, which is, I know that always sounds like a huge deal. It's going to be 6 watches. So like we said, it's going to be a pretty exclusive deal. So if it is something that you guys are interested in, then you'll want to get a hold of us here pretty soon so that we can get you on the list and be one of the first ones to get one of the Bartel Watch Company watches. Again, this one is the Paladin model. We are getting ready to cast and start assembling the first Crusader model.
And it's on the website.
Yeah,
you can see
it's on the website. It's on the Facebook.
So you can actually see what it looks like. They're actually the same size. They're just a different style. There's some different design elements on the case. And,
so yeah, these are going to be a fairly exclusive watch. It's something we are going to push, and so there's going to be hopefully some materials and stuff coming out here soon that people will start talking about it a little bit more, and it's going to be a conversation piece. I know every time that I go out somewhere with it on, somebody's asking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're building these as well as we possibly can. We're making sure that all the pieces and parts that we're getting are basically of the highest quality. So we're not skimping on anything. We're just wanting to make sure that what we're producing is up to the standards that we set, which we've got pretty high standards, because we don't, other than servicing it, we don't want you guys to have to work on this watch or have issues with it. So we're trying to make sure that there is nothing here that is of lower quality, and that it all holds up for generations to come. So if you guys are interested in something like this, you can go to our website, susanns-jewelers.com, and hit the Bartel Watch Company tab at the top of the page. Or while you're there should be a pop-up that comes up, which you can click on that, and it'll take you to that page. Fill out the information at the bottom and hit submit, and it will come directly to us, and we can contact you more about details. Or you can visit us on our Facebook page, Bartel Watch Co. Facebook page, and you can also find us on Instagram. We'll be posting some pictures of the Crusader shortly, so you'll be able to start seeing maybe a little more detail of that design. And if you guys have any questions or you want to see it, please stop by. We do have it available to look at here at Susann's, and we are at 4226 South Alameda in the Town & Country Shopping Center here in Corpus Christi. Or you can give us a call, 361-991-7565. You can always visit us right here on Facebook or at our website, susanns-jewelers.com. So we'd appreciate your comments, and if you guys like it, we'd love to hear what you guys have to say about the watch. And please share this video, share our Facebook page for the Bartel Watch Company. Go and like that page as well. But yeah,
this is quite an endeavor. So
So
our director's giving us little directions here. So
that's what happens when you do this on the fly.
And this is a fly over here too.
Yeah. But yeah, this has been quite the undertaking. We're really excited about this. There's not many jewelers out there that have taken on a project like this. So it's got a lot of little intricacies in there and very little room for error. So it's one of those things that, when we do this, it was a lot of trial and error with some of it, and then a lot of engineering to make sure that we came up with the best possible solutions for any unforeseen problems that could come up. So, yeah.
And some of them that we'd seen, and we tried to take care of those.
Yes. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. We know this was a little bit longer episode, but we appreciate you guys tuning in with us today. Go and like the Bartel Watch Company Facebook page and add us on Instagram or follow us on Instagram. We'll be posting a lot more photos and information on there, and maybe some videos during our production process. But definitely share this with your friends. This would make a great gift, a great award You know, if you've got a company and you'd like to give one of your employees an award, then this would make an awesome gift for them. But like I said, we are doing pre-sales, so you can order these now, and they will be available shortly. So if you guys have any other questions, give us a call or stop by. But thank you guys, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.